All right, guys, welcome back. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I sort of just plugged in my mics here, so let me know if can you guys hear me and see me okay over here? Let me know down below. Hear me okay? Mics here, so let me know if I can hear myself on echo. Okay, you guys can hear me okay? For some reason, I think my mic is not, it's not plugged in here. Let's see. Okay. All right. All right, can you guys still hear me? Let me know, I just plugged in my mic. Can you guys hear me? Testing, testing, testing. It still works, cool. Did that change anything? When I plugged in my mic, did it get better or worse, guys? I'm just kind of curious from your end. I don't understand all these settings. Did it make any change, Justin, when I plugged in that mic? Better or worse? Sounds better, no echo. Okay, cool. All right, well, I have no idea what all of these symbols on this microphone mean, or these buttons, but we'll roll with this. So guys, welcome back. How are you all doing? How was the weekend? Did you guys do anything nice over the weekend? Cool, you guys can hear me? Good to see you, Joshua, Justin, and Frank, and Gina. Cool, good to see you guys. Did you guys do anything nice over the weekend? I finally went to Orlando. I finally did a Florida thing after moving down here a year ago. So that was fun. But so Yari, yeah, how did your event go? Do you want to pop on here? Kind of give us an update here. I was just thinking about you.
It was really good. It was way more people than I thought it was going to be, because it was like an alleyway. I thought it was going to be in the middle of the street. It wasn't. It was in an alleyway. And it was raining a little bit, but a lot of people showed up, and everybody that stood at my table gave me their information. And I've been having discovery calls, and I haven't recorded none of them. I always forget to record. And I was trying to look for the settings in Zoom to record them out automatically. I think you said that, but I haven't found it. I just need to make like a big sign in front of me so I remember.
Yeah, it's not going to be under Zoom preferences inside of the app. It's going to be on the website if you go into your account. So you'll have to like sign into whatever to Zoom, log in, whatever. And then I think if you go under like options or setup or something like that, it's good. There's like a little box you can tick so you can automatically record.
I'll look again, because I did that. I went down into settings. Anyhow, I'll look again.
So how many calls did you get on the books?
9.
9? That's right. You see, all of those, what would they have been before we started business card transactions, right?
Yes. Now, it was, I bought the little blank cards like you told me, and I had people write in their information, and I put them in my schedule, in my calendar, as they were talking to me. But I had a lot of issues with the email addresses. So thankfully, I asked everybody for their phone number so I could text them and say, hey, what's your email? This is what I got, and whatever. But one lady had a digital card that prompted me, when I scanned it into my phone, to put in my information, which was really cool. Now, I just did a virtual card, so I can put my information into people's phone, but I haven't figured out how to get the other part, the part that prompts the person to, because that's going to be the easiest, because it's, electronically. So there's not going to be any mistakes unless they make a mistake writing it down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I have to figure out that part. So I've had 2 calls. One, she's not ready. She is just starting her spiritual journey, and she's still going to church and battling this is from the devil, blah 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 blah. And and I was very gentle with her, and I said, whenever you have any questions, this is common for people to go through, blah blah blah. So that was a nice conversation, but I don't think she's ready. And then the second person, I think she's going to sign up, but she has a lot going on. But a lot of health issues. So she has like a lot of appointments, but she's desperately looking for something to like put it all together. And that's what I told her that I could do for her. So I think she's gonna sign up. Now the other guy, I never had a call with him. We scheduled it and he never showed up. So even though he texted me back his good email, he never showed up to the.
Yeah, call him anyway. Like for the ones who don't show up, just keep calling them like every single day. And when they finally pick up, or if they finally pick up, like don't leave any messages. Don't leave any messages. And then what you're looking for is to get recommitment on the call. So like, asking questions like, well, why did you book in the first place? If you weren't planning on coming.
Okay.
Why did you book? I mean, why did you book the time?
Mm-hmm.
And getting him like re-grounded and recentered in that moment when you were talking to him, when he made that, because there's something there. It is time. It is time. Like you wouldn't book on your calendar if it wasn't time. So we just need to get him recentered in terms of, why today? Why did you book on my calendar?
Okay.
Yep. Well done. So 9, and it was like an all day event, or how many hours did you have your table out? It was a 1 day thing.
It was 3 hours. It was from 6 to 9.
So you booked 9 calls in 3 hours? That's great.
I'm telling you, everybody that stopped at my table, because some people kind of look, I have some candles that my daughter made. So some people just walked through and looked and kind of avoided my eyes and kept on walking. So I didn't bother them. But everybody that stood in front of my table, was looking at my sign and then looked at me. I was like, so how you doing today? And this is what I do, and blah, blah, blah. And tell me about you. Tell me what you're struggling with. Tell me what's your path. And everybody gave me an appointment. Everybody that did that.
Yeah.
Of course, I had a lot of conversations with other vendors that wanted to pair up with me to do other things, which was great too. A lady who's a shaman, she was like, "Oh my God, I love what you're doing," and then we get to talking, and we live like 5 minutes away, and she was like, "Tomorrow is my birthday, come on over." So I went and I met so many people that now I'm in contact. It was great. It was just really good.
Sounds like it's very productive. Yeah.
It really.
If you guys can do conferences and vendoring, and it's usually it's going to cost a lot less than advertising. So if you guys have any opportunities for that, or if you have any opportunities coming up, I can help you walk through what I do to generate sales from my table. So Yari just did this to book 9 calls in 3 hours, and then Laura Palmer, who was with us like a few months ago, she did 18,000 from her table. I think we did it in about 6 weeks. I'm sorry, from her table over a period of 6 weeks. So she had a regular every single weekend she had a vendoring event. So it's so, I mean, they're fun too. It breaks up just sitting at your computer, every single day and just call after call after call. So congratulations, Yara. Yeah, get on recording those calls, because we're actually losing money by not recording them, because I'm not able to really give you feedback.
Yeah. I want to do it. I just forget it in the moment. And we have this, it was so good the event that the group that put it together has decided to do it quarterly. So every 3 months we're gonna have one.
Perfect. And look at others in your area. You know, I don't know, I forget where you're located, Yari, but there's so many expos, even small little ones that go on around you. So
Yeah. Even that day, I got invited to a couple more. So no, it was a great day. And yes, that was on my to-do list to go on different websites that I know to see what they have,
mhm,
to go to their events. Yes.
cool. Awesome. So, and Frank flew to Orlando, spoke at a mindfulness conference. That's awesome. Yeah, it beats like the day-to-day kind of Facebook advertising thing, but we also want to keep up that, so we have that consistency stream rate, right? So for those of you who just are getting clients through a website, right, it's nice to have that, but typically it's not really predictable, right? And so that's why we tack on this more predictable stream, which is what we can create with paid advertising. So so I had a few ideas of what we can go through today, and let's just do a poll here and see what would be most productive for you guys. One thing I was going to go through was exactly what you need to have in place to generate 20K plus months in your business using paid advertising. Or we can take a look at the process when new prospects come into your funnel, like what that prospects looks like, because I'm hearing a lot of questions as far as what do I do next? Like as soon as somebody opts in, like what does that new member process look like? So, and then my third option here was to go over like the most common ways we push away high ticket, $5,000 or more, premium hypnosis and healing clients. So what do you guys want to talk about here today? What do you feel like would be most productive for you guys? Because I'm ready to go in any of those categories. And we can also do one of these next week too. So Joshua, like what the day should look like. So is that what I'm hearing? Like what that structure should look like each and every day, how you should be prioritizing your time?
Yeah, I mean, it dovetails with exactly what you said. I would just love to hear sort of if we could integrate that thing about when they enter into your funnel to sort of like, because that's kind of what our day-to-day is, right? They're coming to our funnel, we're checking things, we're going through stuff, we're texting them, we're doing that kind of thing. Yeah. So it's one higher level than what you just suggested.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all these kind of tie together. So yeah, let's go through like that new member process, and then like basically how should you be prioritizing your day to maximize sales? Like that's what I'm talking about here. What should we be working on in one order to maximize sales? So does that sound good with you guys? And then Renee, I know you were talking about consistent 20K months. Let's see how much time we have, because that's going to be important too. Basically, like how many leads do you need minimum each month to generate 20K plus months in your business? How many leads do you need per month? How many conversations do you need to have per month? How much do you need to spend on ads per month? And of course, this is going to vary per business, but yeah, let's talk about the new member process here. So I'm going to share my notes here. Okay. All right. Can you guys see my notepad here? Where I can't spell the word new. Okay. All right, perfect. So, and I feel like there's been a lot of confusion around what to do as soon as somebody comes into not even just your funnel, but the Facebook group. So let's go through this process first. So what I'll do is let's answer questions as we go through this, because I think that'll be more productive versus like waiting till the end. So for a lot of you guys already have some sort of funnel set up, or you're in the process of setting up your funnel. I think that's pretty much 100% of everybody here. Even if you don't have a funnel set up, like you're getting ready to set one up, or maybe you're putting together advertising or your copy or something like that. So what we're setting up here is what I call a freebie funnel, but you've probably seen different variations of what this looks like, or what even it's called. And so this is just where we just get a free opt-in. So somebody exchanges their name, phone, and email for some sort of freebie. Now, can you do a paid thing? Yeah, of course, you can go ahead and test that. Just keep in mind, and you know, Jared is a great person to talk about this with, is that like you could potentially lose a good prospect if they just don't know you well enough to buy something that's $27 from you. So just keep that in mind. You know, adding in a paid opt-in it's gonna play with your numbers a bit, but it doesn't mean you can't make that successful. So you could totally go ahead and test that. The cheapest leads are going to be for a free item, right? And in order to be successful with this, what's really going to help you is doubling down on qualifying people who come into your group. Okay, so if you're letting in everybody, you're not really doing much qualifying, or you put just anybody on call just because you want to call, what's going to happen, right? Your calendar is going to get booked out with a lot of low quality or people who aren't ready or not in the right place they need to be for you to help them. So where we're doing a lot of our qualifying with like a freebie funnel is inside of the group after they come in, or in the SMS process, or however you're nurturing those leads once they come into your group. So we're doing a lot of gatekeeping more inside of the after they opt in versus like right at the gate, which is like, you know, book a call or you know, get out your wallet to get this thing. We're doing a lot more gatekeeping inside after they opt in. Okay, so I think a lot of you had questions about, should I do a paid funnel or a free funnel? That's really the only difference is going to be the cost in terms of what it costs to acquire a client or what it costs to a lead. So, you know, if you're willing to pay more, you can totally you know, use more of a paid opt-in. So the way we've set up this funnel here, and it's the same funnel that I'm using to this day, like I'm literally operating the same funnel. I'm going to be starting an Instagram funnel here soon, which I'm really excited about. So once I get that in place, I'll share it with you guys as well. It's very similar to the freebie funnel, except now we're using Instagram, and actually it just takes people directly to your DMs. It's like tap the link and it goes right to the Instagram DM. So it's still a freebie funnel, but it's just another way to get leads that are pretty cheap. You know, the quality is pretty much the same, but it's a way to get more leads without having to pay more per lead or pay more for a call. So that's something I'll talk about in the future. So once they come into the funnel, right? So what you guys are setting up, or what you already have set up, is some sort of landing page, right? Your ad goes to a landing page where they get this free thing. And once they opt in for the free thing, they are going to go to your thank you page, right? So your thank you page is what's going to prompt them to go to your Facebook group. Now, why do we send them to a Facebook group? Why don't we just stop it right there? Why don't we just send them into our email list? Well, it's harder. In fact, it's very hard to convert leads through email. You know, everything dies in email. So it's much harder to email back and forth. I'm not saying you can't get calls through email. I'm doing that now. Like I can get calls through email, but a lot of that's just going to be, hey, book a call. Like, hey, book a call. It's not going to be going back and forth and triaging through email. Okay, so and then there is a process to doing that, and you guys have that in the core content calendar training inside of module 6. You guys have that. I sent out you guys maybe saw like a week ago, I sent out Carla's story. I got like people just to book a call right away. Like that's just something that takes time to build up, because you gotta put out enough social proof. You gotta build the know, like, and trust before people start typically booking themselves. But some people will book right away, even if they just come into your funnel too. But we're adding in the Facebook group because it's another place, and it's easier to get prospects onto a call through DM than it is through email. Okay, so if we don't have our Facebook group over here and we only have an email list, we're potentially losing out on thousands. We are 100% we are losing out on thousands. Okay, so they go to your thank you page. Depending on what app you have in place, they're either going to be automatically redirected, or you might have a button that says, hey, step 1, you know, to get your free whatever. Step 1, come, you know, join the private community for whatever. Step 2, you know, friend request me. I don't know, something like that. But you want to have it either redirect if you can. If not, you can simply just put a button there and people will click that. Okay. So next thing they'll come into, so I'll just write this down here. So they'll opt in on a landing page. which is going to be that first page in your funnel. So again, I think either all of you have this set up or you're in the process of setting this up. Then they're going to go to your thank you page. Okay. And they're either going to click or be redirected to Facebook group. Okay. Now, when they get here, which is your Facebook group, they are not going to have your freebie at this point. A lot of times what you've seen is somebody opts in and you get automatically emailed the freebie. Have you guys seen that? I'm sure everybody here has opted in for something and automatically been emailed an ebook or e-guide or, you know, something, a webinar. We are not automatically sending this out. Okay. The only thing we're doing here, and we're actually giving them, is access to the Facebook group. Okay. Does that make sense? Is there any questions about that? Because I heard a few questions as far as, do I need to have an automated email after they come and deliver the freebie? No. And the reason for this is the minute you give a lead what they came for, you've lost their attention. And now you got to get it all over again. You know, they got to find another ad. You got to get their attention with another email, right? They've essentially stopped looking. They have no reason to continue to go through what you have. So we hold that freebie as leverage. We hold that freebie as leverage for their attention, to keep their attention. Okay. Any questions so far from the moment they click your ad to joining the Facebook group? Okay. And this is where they're going to answer 3 membership questions. Any questions so far up to now? Does that all make sense? Okay. And then if you don't know, if you don't have your membership questions set up, that's inside of module 6. You'll see a training called setting up your Facebook group. Okay, that's all in there. And your first question is going to be, hey, are you my niche? Right? You're checking to see if if they're in the right place. Your second question is going to be, I don't even remember at this point. Oh, grab your email, right? You're going to double down on getting the right email, because how many times do you guys do this? Do you guys have like sort of a spam email you just give to whatever, and you know, you're kind of your older email that you don't check often? Yeah. So we want to make sure we have a good email. So we double down, we re-ask that question in question 2. Okay. And then if they come in and they give you a different email, I always update the email in my CRM with what they gave me in the membership questions, or you can just add a second one, you know, whatever is easier. And then the trick here to getting someone on a call as quickly as possible is that in question number 3, we do a soft pitch. We do a soft pitch, which is, hey, you know, we guarantee, or hey, we're confident we can help you go from here to here in X amount of time. This is typically going to be the time of your program. You know, I forget the question verbatim, but it's telling them, hey, we're confident we can help you go from here to here. You know, that being said, is that something you would want to learn more about? Type yes or no. Okay, so if you want the exact wording, go to that training. But we're just doing a soft pitch here. Okay. Okay. So any questions up until they join the group, guys? You guys still with me on this? Okay. Anybody who's not with me on this? Okay. I'm gonna assume that if there's no questions, then we're good to keep going. Okay. All right. Now, really quick. Oh yeah, Susan, what's your question? Go ahead and unmute if you can. What was the first question on Facebook? You're talking about the membership questions, Susan?
Yes, sorry. Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I'm talking about.
I can't remember the exact words, but if you go to module 6 and look up the training, setting up the Facebook group, it's literally just called like setting up the Facebook group. You're going to find it in there. I want you to use the exact wording from there.
Thank you.
Okay. Cool. It should be there. It should be like video number 3 or 4 or 5, something like that. So, okay. All right. Now, is everybody going to answer all 3 of these on the way in? No. I would say majority do. but I would say, maybe roughly 30% don't. At least that's what I've noticed on my end. And so how do we know who to let in and not to let in? This is a question I hear a lot. So this is honestly, it's a personal preference, but what I do and what I recommend is I only let people in who answer a minimum of 2 out of the 3 questions. If they don't answer all 3, I'm okay with that. But if they answer 2, that's okay. If they answer 1, I don't let them in. If they look half-assed, I don't let them in. I also check out their profile. Like I've had people come in, they say they're like my niche, they put in their email, they want more information, but then I see that they're like completely not. Like look at their personal Facebook profiles. Like, does it look like a real profile? Does it have a picture, right? Do they look like they're serious about what they're doing? If you're in the B2B space, we want to make sure that it looks like they have a business. And if you're in the B2C place, it's a little bit harder. You don't necessarily need to look professional looking, but look at their content they're posting. Do they look like maybe they're mature? Do they look like they're old enough, right? So you'll kind of have to go with your gut on this one, and you'll learn for your own niche what looks like a probable client and what doesn't. Okay, so that's what I do. Again, it's your business, but I recommend if they don't answer all 3 questions, have at least answer a minimum of 2. If they only answer 1, I wouldn't let them in. And then you'll kind of get to know what your ideal client looks like when they come into your funnel. Also, your gut's going to tell you a lot of this information. If you're looking at the personal profile and like, it looks like maybe they're not a real person, or they just created this profile like just to get into your group, things like that. I mean, do you really think they're going to be active? Probably not. So any questions about qualifying the leads when they come into the Facebook group? Okay. I know some of us, when we're getting started, there's like this, oh my gosh, I don't have enough leads, so I just want to get as many people in as possible. You're going to regret this down the road. This was my mindset when I first started my group 2.5 years ago. I was like, well, I want to get as many people as possible. I want to like have a good number. I want the social proof. I want, what if they're a good prospect? What if? And when I look at my group now, I'm like, God, if I had only been a bit more strict about this, it would be so much clearer. My group would be so much more higher quality. Not that it's not working now, but in terms of like who shows up, like it would be so much clearer to me. So I'm going to say, don't fall into that trap. Obviously I can't control what you guys do, but be aware of that. Like, I just want them to come in because I'm not getting enough leads. You're going to regret this down the road. So don't drop your standards just because you're not getting enough leads now, because they're not going to book anyway, or they're not going to close anyway if they're not a good lead. So Chuck, what's your question? Feel free to pop it in the chat, or you can unmute as well. And anybody else who has questions up until this point? Okay.
I couldn't get my video thing to work.
Have a good try.
I guess my question is, I have like, a group that's got 100 and something people in it, but people post different things in it and stuff. And should I have a more private group for when I have my funnel, like for just those people, or should I try to mix in these people? Because there is some good people in the group.
I mean, is this the group that you want to use for your funnel?
It's just a group I created about hypnosis. So
yeah, if you have like, how many people in there? 100 something?
yeah.
Yeah, so there's probably buyers in there. So if it were me and you're open to that, then just basically you'll sort of do a rebranding, a new announcement type of thing. And inside of module, I believe it's 3, you'll find that training on how to take an existing audience, so an email audience or a group audience, and how to like basically transition to a new niche. And for you, you're essentially niching down, so it's still like a new niche. So I would, if you haven't already, check out the training on like transitioning to a new niche in module 3. But I would 100% take advantage of a community that's already existing that you have.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Just because other people post their stuff in there and stuff, so I don't know. I mean, do you like, I guess, how do I control that part? So I'm just not getting all these stupid posts from people doing stuff that don't really matter.
Yeah. So here's one thing I've noticed about the freebie funnel is you get lower quality leads, right? Like if you look at people who have bought, they haven't, like if I compare this group to that group, the quality in here in terms of questions and posts are a million times higher. And why? Because you guys have already committed, invested, you've decided you're going to make this happen, right? Et cetera, et cetera. These people necessarily they haven't necessarily made that decision. So I noticed the questions and the conversations were not quality. I turned off my option to post to the group.
Okay.
People can comment, they can ask questions by commenting underneath stuff, but I turned off the ability to be able to post questions because it was lower quality. Like it was like people were starting to ask about like certifications or where do you get certified? I'm like, I don't want these conversations because that's not what I teach here. So you can just turn that off. You can also have it so that you have to approve the post. So you can set it up that way too. But I mean, you know, you're just using this group to generate sales. So you don't really, it's really up to you if you want people to be able to interact like that. But you don't need to, you can just turn that off if you want.
Well, what if I just invite them to the new group, anyone that's interested in like a certain, my niche? So I say, hey, this is what I'm doing in this group. If you're interested, come join here, and then have them go through the questions and whatever.
You can definitely do that.
Okay.
You're gonna lose some people, right? It's just, you know, because they have to jump through another hoop, right? So why not just rebrand and just stay in front of the people that you're already in front of?
Okay.
You know?
Only because I wanted to get rid of the ones that are not really caring, you know, that's why I just kind of,
Let
I know
them-
there's some, I definitely, there's a handful of people in the group that are, you know, interested in what I'm doing, but
Mhm.
a lot of people are just on there just because it's a group and they can post and whatever.
So yeah, I recommend turning off the posting abilities until you get this cleaned up at least. And then I mean, I would just utilize the same group because you can add in that extra funnel, which is like, hey, I just created, you can start duplicating a lot of the posts that we do in the new group with your
Mhm.
old, you can certainly start duplicating that. Would just be a duplicate effort.
Now, I have a different question, but maybe you can answer it now. But I joined this thing called Pipeline Pro.
Mhm.
Are you familiar with it at all?
I don't think I've heard of it.
Well, it's only $37 and you can get unlimited funnels, landing pages, websites, blogs, all this stuff. And they have stuff you can buy too, but basically the funnels and the landing pages are all part of the deal. You only pay $37 once and it's lifetime. So I just didn't know how I would integrate that with like my ads and stuff.
Well, essentially you'll be setting up, I'm assuming, your landing pages inside of that app. So you would just send your ad. I mean, that app's going to give you a published link right to your landing page. And so you just need that link to send your ad to.
Okay.
Yep. Sounds like you have the capability to do that.
I think so. I'm just learning the system now. So
Okay. Yeah, get your landing pages set up. You would just basically mimic what's inside of module 9. Like you would just mimic something like that. So landing page, thank you page, redirect them to the Facebook group. At that point, you have their information. And then you'll do what we're talking about here, basically.
but what's the difference really from the ad and the landing page? I mean, how much should I have on the ad and how much should I have on the landing page? Is it like, should the ad be smaller and more direct? And then the landing page have more information?
Use the templates that are there, like look at the examples of what's there and that will answer those questions. Use that framework for the ad that you have that I've given you inside of module 8, and then follow what's on the landing page in terms of the funnel. That's everything that
Okay.
you need.
All right.
Cool.
And can I set up a call with you like maybe this week or next week? Because I feel like I'm starting to get back on track here, but I might need a little direction.
Okay. I'll follow up with you after this.
Okay, thank you.
All right. All right, guys, let's keep on moving. So the next thing you're gonna do, once they're sitting in your queue inside of your member request folder, in your member request section of your Facebook group, you're gonna tag them after you let them in. You're gonna tag them in one of two posts, okay? You've got a post for the people who say yes to your pitch, question 3, and then you've got a post for those who say no, okay? We're gonna DM everybody, and we're also going to tag everybody, but they're only going to get tagged in one or the other. Okay. So if you need me to show you exactly what I'm talking about here, let me know. I can share like my group, but the post for the yes people, the people who say, I want to learn more about what you have. It's going to be that post that says, you typed yes to learning more information about how to do blank in X amount of time. Okay. And then if you go through that training, that's going to be in there. So if you need me to show you, is anyone here have any questions about what this looks like? If you haven't gone through the training already, I recommend do that first. So we're just not like doing anything new here. But if any of you have like any trouble finding this, I should say, who are there, let me know. And then you're going to have a post for the people who say no. The people are like, hey, I'm your niche, but I'm not interested in your offer right now. Essentially what they're just saying is, I don't want to be sold yet. Like I'm not interested in being sold yet. I want to check out some of your content. So you're going to have a post for each person. Okay. I would say a yes post and then basically like a no post. Inside of the training, it's going to be called the guarantee post. That's for the yes people. And then for the no people, it's just going to be your generic welcome post. And that can be a video. It could be a picture. Both will work. Personally, I like video introductions better. So for the people who are coming into the Facebook group who said, no, I have a video for them. Does anyone here want me to tag you in mine so you can see what that post looks like? Let me know. So Michelle says yes. Anyone else want me to tag them in my post for the people who say no to the offer? Okay. So I will, let's see here. You can also just search my Facebook group and also just put, I think it's like start here or something, but I'll just tag you guys. Okay, actually, I'll share my screen here as well. Okay, so for those, oh, you guys are cut off. Okay, so for those people who are coming in, they say no, they're not interested in the offer right now. I just tag them. Can you guys see my Facebook here? Okay, I just have something like this. So essentially it just says start here to get your free training, whatever that is, a course, training, guide, whatever you have. And then underneath here, and you guys can literally just copy this framework and just make it your own. Obviously change the language, make sure it sounds like you. And then I just list basically how to get it. So send me a friend request, tap the link to open the messenger chat, which is something I started utilizing about a year ago. This is money. I don't do much comment this word below. It's just like, just DM me this word and the right people who really want it will do it. Okay. And then, or number 3 is you can drop the word below here and you can get it. I like to say, hey, if you want it faster, send me this word through Messenger. If you want it faster, okay, you'll get both of them. All right. So I will tag, let's see who we got here. It was, okay. So Joshua. And then Susan. So if they say yes to Facebook question 3, we tag them in the guarantee post. Yes, exactly. And if they say no, we'll tag them in something a bit more generic, which is just like, hey, here's how to get the thing that you asked for on your way in. Yeah. So Peter, you got to change your settings because I can never tag you in anything anywhere. I think you have your Facebook settings so that you can't be tagged. So you just need to turn that off so I can tag you. And then Chris. Yeah, they're most likely to open your DMs and friend you. Yep. Yep. And now how many people friend you? It's not a huge amount, but hey, if you can get one person to do it themselves, like why not? So let's see. Michelle. Is there anyone else who wants to be tagged in this? Am I missing anyone? Okay, cool. So yeah, this is the post for basically no. Okay. Let's see. Any of you guys need help finding that inside of the curriculum? It's going to be in everything to do with Facebook. It's going to be inside of module 6. So you'll see the training for the guarantee post, and then you'll see, which is again your yes post, and then you'll see the post for the no people, which is like your generic welcome post. You'll see both of them in there. Yeah, Yari, you know, what I recommend, and when you go through the Facebook group setup, you'll see that I recommend to make your Facebook group private. And the reason is sometimes people are sharing things, and we don't want people to be able to share other people's posts outside of your group. Okay, and I don't recommend that. I don't think it's a good idea. You know, people are opting in; they're giving away their information, their contact information to have something that's closed. So I would recommend to either create a new group that's private or make this group private. And I think you can still change those settings. Even after you set up the group, I believe you can still change those settings. Okay. All right. So back to the process here. So you'll tag them when it's one of the 2 posts, and then immediately DM them. Do not wait half a day. Do not feel like you're bothering them. Do not think they're not available. Just DM them right away, because it's still going to take them time to get back to you. Okay. So you'll send them, and this is inside of the training inside of module 6, that is called qualifying prospects through Messenger. You guys will see that in module 6. You'll DM everybody right away. The way I prioritize is I do all the yes people first. They're high priority. I let them in first. I group them all together. Inside of my queue, I do all the yes people first, let them in, DM them, and then I go back and do all the no people, accept them in, then send them prompts for the no people. So you'll see that again inside of module 6. If you don't know where that is, just drop if you don't know where that is, let me know, and I'll just post it directly to the Facebook group, and then I'll just tag you in there if you can't find it. Okay, so you're going to DM everybody right away, and what's going to happen is now your messages are just going to be sitting there in their inbox. Okay, so some people, if you're not friends with them, you're going to go to their spam box, and if you are friends with them, you're going to go right to their main inbox. Okay, so what I recommend is the minutes people come into your Facebook queue, your group queue, send them a friend request. Even if you're done working for the day, if they come in at like 6 p.m., just send them a friend request. Don't get them in if you're not going to be available. One thing that I used to do and wasn't working out well was like, well, hey, let me just send a message on Saturday morning, and then I'm gone, I'm out the door. Okay, now you're not present with them, and you're probably not going to set them, or you may lose their attention. So only accept people into the group if you're available to actually triage them. I would say if you have at least an hour in case they reply back. If don't do this and take off. You know, you could always do it through your phone. It's a little bit more of a pain in the ass. But if you can't be present with your prospects, if you're not present in the DMs, they're not going to be present with you. People can feel that. And this was one of my biggest hurdles when I was getting good at this, was just not being present with people. You know, half attention here, half attention there, driving and doing that, or talking on the phone and doing that, or putting together copy for an ad and then doing that. If you're not 100% present with your prospects, they know. They just know it. They may not consciously know it, but they just won't give you their attention. So the key here is don't let them in and start a conversation unless you can be present with them. I would say at least you have an hour or so that you can be present with them. Okay. Any questions about anything I just said there? Actually be there with them as if you're having lunch with them, one-on-one time. Okay. Do you give them the link to opt in the DM? What are they opting in for, Justin? Because by the time you're DMing them, they should have already opted in, right? They've already opted into your funnel. You already have their information. I'm wondering if you mean, do you give them the link to the
When do they
freebie?
actually get the thing that they opted in for? Because I've gone through most of the training and I'm still not certain where do we say, like, here's the thing you wanted.
So here's the thing, you're actually not going to give it to them. Our goal is not to give it to them unless they ask for it. So imagine you come in and they're like, hey, welcome to the group, blah, 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 blah. What specifically are you looking for help with? Now, the only times I ever give it to them is if one, they say, hey, I'm not interested in talking, I just want the thing. Oh, sure, cool. They are just looking, they're backing up, their guards up too high. They're not interested in buying right now, whatever, blah, blah, blah. You just get like, hey, cool. Yeah, here you go. Let us know if that content resonates for you, right? We don't get angry, we won't get upset, right? It's not what we do here. We're just like, cool. Yep, here's the link. Check it out. See what you think. Send them on their way. It doesn't mean they won't come back later and book a call when you do a live stream or put out a post, right? So just now's not the time. You just give it to them. The other time you can give it to them is if you book a call and then, like, hey, by the way, here's the thing that you wanted on the way in, check that out, see if that content resonates for you. I'll see you on our call. It's the only time I actually deliver it. Does that make sense?
That's why he told me, like, don't spend more than a day on this thing because only a fraction of the people are actually going to see it. It sounds like.
Exactly. It's not, that can be true, but here's a better answer to that. If people aren't ready to book now, it's going to be important to build the know, like, and trust with them. And that's one way of building the know, like, and trust and getting them to understand what you do and getting their buy-in. So as much as we want calls on the books, if they're not willing to do that right away, or if they're not a good fit, the next thing that's priority we want to do is get them into our content. Because again, that's going to get the buy-in, that's going to get them excited, that's going to get them like, oh my gosh, I'm in the right place, right? So the reason I say not to spend a lot of time on this is because we're not exchanging a lot. We're not getting a lot for what we're giving. We're getting just an email, phone number. If you were giving them something that was $4.97, I'd say, like, make sure you're delivering some good content in there. But if you're just getting first email, phone number, like, you just don't need to, it's not even so much about the time you put in, just give them something to make them feel like they're in the right place. They got some clarity, they got some value. That's a better answer to that. Does that help clear things up, Justin, about that?
Yeah, that makes sense. It still feels a little weird not to give them the thing, but yes, if they're coming in because the conversation with us would be more useful than the thing, then that makes sense.
Yeah. At the end
I actually think I approached you, Lydia, about a free thing that I don't think I ever got it. And I'm not even sure what it is. I'm not even sure what it is anymore. Frankly.
I'll be honest, a lot of times I forget too.
Yeah.
And so, and it's not deliberate. Like, there's some people like, oh yeah, they booked a call and I still didn't give it to them. So it's not deliberate, but it's okay because they'll come back and be like, hey, can I still have the thing? Yeah, sure.
So I noticed in the post that you tagged us in, it was a mini course. I mean, I imagine that the thing you offered me was not a course. It was some handout or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but if I were to come through the process, you'd still tag me in that, even though it wasn't the thing I was really opting in for.
Yeah, because I think you asked for something I was giving away during like a live stream, or maybe
it was an email. You put it in an email and I texted you about it. I have no idea what it is anymore, honestly.
Yeah,
and Justin, I don't feel bad about it. And obviously it worked because I'm here.
We got a better deal, right? Now you're
yeah. I just noticed that the thing you tagged us in had nothing to do with like the thing I opted in for. That's okay. I mean, I don't mind it. I mean, that's fine. I was just curious if that obviously that's okay because that's the way you're doing it.
So
do you understand what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, originally when you came into the group, like, I don't remember if you said yes or no. I honestly don't remember how you got into the group. I think you answered the questions and then I tagged you in based on whether you said yes or no. And then at some point I put out email that said, hey, if you want this free thing, comment or send me this word. And so I don't have the post, when
I see.
when people comment for a freebie you put out, like I think it was on a Wednesday or Thursday, then you'll tag them in that post for that specific email. Yeah, you'll have a specific post and a specific email for that freebie that you put out. So like if you came in and asked for this thing that I put out an email, I'm not going to go back and tag you in the course all over again. Yeah. This is strictly for people just entering. They either say yes to this thing, I want to know more about what you have, or they said no. Yeah. Okay.
So the people already in the group, like myself, would have been getting that email because we're already in the group, which is why this doesn't work. I got it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Justin, did that answer your question as well?
Yeah, I get it now. Thank you.
Yep. You gotta learn the laws of marketing. You know, it's just in order to be able to help someone, right? Whether it's them buying our program or buying our course or buying our services, we need their attention. We need their attention. If you don't have their attention, then nobody's buying anything, you know. So that's how we keep their attention. Is now it's not about being a jerk. It's not what we're doing here. It's about helping them move the direction they need to be to get exactly what they came for. Whether it's I want to sleep better at night, or I want to lose 10 pounds. We're not helping them out if we just give them a freebie. You know what I mean? It's more, this should be coming from the party that really wants to help them. Now, does everybody want to be helped by you? No. And that's when we say, hey, no problem. Here's the thing, you know, have a nice day, whatever.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I think in my head, I'll think of it as like, this is the treat to get the dog to do the thing I want them to do. I could just give them right away, but then they're not going to do the thing that's going to better themselves.
Exactly.
So if after they sign up for a call, I can still then like
Give it to them.
beyond limit say, hey, here's the thing that you wanted. If they don't want the call, like, hey, here's the thing you signed up. So it's still there. It's after I've used that attention, or we've got the attention that we needed, and it's decided, you know, it's the call's not the best fit. So I think I get it now. Yeah.
Exactly. And I would encourage you to give them what they came for, because it's going to be important for them to get into your content and get to know your content and get to know you. So yeah, my intention is to do that, but I forget sometimes, and you know, it just is what it is. I'm still happy to give you the thing, Joshua, you asked for if you wanted, but you probably have that already. So
I literally have no idea what I asked for. It just seemed like a good idea at the time. Yeah.
Yeah. It just exactly. And that's how we get people on your calendar. Seems like a good idea at the time. Yep. All right. Let me scroll down here. Renee says there is a line in the script. Yeah, so I actually have 2 scripts to trend. And actually, let's keep going here. So you sent them, you've tagged them in the post, you immediately sent them the DM. Then what's going to happen is they're going to reply, right? They're going to start replying to your DMs. Hopefully that's the goal, right? Maybe not immediately, but down the road after you put out an email, drop an offer, or send me this word, whatever. And then you're going to qualify them in the DMs, okay? And you're going to get those 4 things, you know, prior to booking them. And again, this is inside of the, not the welcome posts training, but the qualifying prospects inside Messenger. If any of you guys need that, let me know. I can pull it up here. This is a separate training than the welcome posts. Okay, so there's a separate training called qualifying prospects inside of the DMs. Okay, and you're just going to look for those 4 things when you DM them. After you get them, just pitch them right away. Like there's no reason to you could keep asking them questions, and if you're doing this right, you're just going to get them more antsy and anxious to get on a call. Like I've even done it to the point where they're like, can I just book a call already? Like you could do that, but you really don't need to do that. You know, as long as you find out, you know, what's the problem, right? What's the problem? What's the goal? What's the roadblock? And then what's your priority in terms of getting, you know, achieving this outcome? How soon do you want to do that? Again, if you get ASAP, soon, yesterday, now, whatever, you just send them that pitch. And there's going to be there's a couple different scripts I have in terms of moving them to a call. They both work well. I'd say they're both even interchangeable. You can use them for the yes people or the no people. My favorite one is the one that says, hey, what I think will be really beneficial for you is I want to share with you exactly how to go from blank, from here to desired outcome. I'd love to walk you through that with you. I can't remember the script exactly, but it's in there. So that one is definitely usable for either the yes or no people. There's also another script, which is what Renee's talking about here, which is like, hey, when you first came in, I know I offered that free resource and everything. However, I don't think it's going to be exactly what you need to be able to achieve X, Y, and Z in X amount of time. So that being said, I would love to share with you exactly what that looks like and how my clients are doing, blah, blah, blah. Is that something you're open to? Both of them work very well. They're very clean, they're very professional, they're not salesy. So you can use either one of those. And then assuming they want to continue moving forward, you can ask them as soon as you get yes, awesome, can't wait, would love to. You're just like, hey, awesome. What's the best email and phone number to send the link to? Now, once again, I'm doubling down on their contact information because oftentimes people come in, they give you a fake phone number, fake emails, it's just, at this time, hopefully you have the right email, but you never know. So I'm always going to double down, hey, what's the best email and phone number to send the meeting link to? Okay. And then they're most likely going to give that to you. And then you go ahead and book them. And then you want to make sure that so you want to pitch the next step, which is a call, right? And then you're going to double down on correct email and phone. Okay. And then you're going to book them. Then what you're going to do is make sure they received the invite. Okay, so you can it's a simple question. Hey, did you get the meeting link that I sent over to your email? Right, just find that out. And then you're going to double down that they can make it. Guys, this was a game changer for me, Joshua. This is going to be really helpful for you. So after you book anyone onto a call, whether it's through SMS or DM, you're going to double down on basically their attendance, that they can make it. And what I do is ask, hey, is there any, now that we're all booked, is there any reason why you may not be able to make or may have to reschedule this call on this day? This is incredible. This makes such a difference. Use this through DMs and use it if you're doing outbound calls. If you're booking people through phone, like again, hey, is there any reason why you may not be able to make, or may have to reschedule this time? It shows that you mean business, shows that you really respect your time, shows that you're only really interested in working with people who are going to show up. Okay. Yeah, Renee, we'll get to your question here in a minute, but I'll open up you, Renee, but any questions on anything I just went over just now? So Joshua, you did this lady sold today when booked, confirmed with her yesterday. Yeah. This, guys, it takes a lot of work to keep people's attention. And we all have to play the same game. All of us. It doesn't matter if you're selling, I don't know, hair extensions or pots and pans or like, sir, like it doesn't matter. We all have to play the same game of getting their attention and then keeping the attention. Okay. So this is just one of the ways, like I get my show up rate to typically about, like, I would say it's a comfortable like 85%. If I change nothing, if I bring in a setter, all that's going to change, et cetera, et cetera. But just me right now, like doing this has worked really well. Okay. All right. So Michelle, you have a question. Let me back up here. Renee, what's your question about the outbound calls that you have? You're going to unmute if you can.
So in this process of new members joining, I actually have a ton of phone numbers that I've never called because, they came in 6 months ago before I was actually outbound calling. Is there a process to actually call them? What would you recommend on that? Because they're just sitting there. I've never called them. They're not responding in DMs. They're just not active. Should I just move on, or should I make an attempt to actually call those folks?
My follow-up process is follow up as long as you care.
Well,
Is
I've
it-
never talked to them because I never
Hmm.
called them. I wasn't doing outbound calls 6 months ago.
And do you still care to see if they're interested?
Well, they're in my group and they're my niche, at least as far as I can tell by stalking their page. And yeah, I mean,
Mhm.
I don't know that it's gonna hurt to give them a call.
Yeah, I would 100% call them. You know what I mean? Like, I would just call and be like, hey, Betsy, or Sarah, whatever. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? This is Renee here from blah, blah, blah. How's
Yeah.
it going? They're going to be like, what? Who?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you'd be like, hey, you know what? This is going to sound, and just be honest, like, hey, this is going to sound crazy, but you actually, I was going through my database and I saw you had actually reached out for a training on how to do X, Y, and Z. And honestly, I just wanted to check and make sure you got it. Like, did you ever actually get your logins for blah, blah, blah? And they're going to be like, oh, wow, weird. Like, nobody ever calls me, or that's really nice of you, or something like that. But you have to frame it like, hey, like, I just wanted to do you a quick favor and myself a favor and yourself a favor. I just really like kind of just see what happened here. Like, I don't know what happened here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I've been doing on the outbound calls. And interestingly, even the people who say yes, and I don't lead with that, right? I just lead with just like you just said about the free training, because it really opens people up. It's disarming to lead with, and I think I could say that to people whether they joined yesterday or 6 months ago, is, did you get that training that you requested when you came in? And that's a real great way for people to be like, oh, well, no, I didn't, or yeah, I did, or, and it's just, it's totally not salesy. It's very disarming. And I'm having a lot of people kind of open up. If they answer, like, that's the challenge I'm getting, is they just don't answer. But if they do, it's pretty powerful.
Mhm. Yeah, you have to really be honest in that you're not trying to sell anyone right away, because if you have that energy, you're going to get hung up on, pissed off people, things like that. But if you really approach it with like, hey, I'm really just curious to see what's going on here. And hey, maybe if they want more, I can pitch them a call. Like, that's the kind of attitude you want. If your attitude is, let me get a call in the book, I need to hit my numbers, that type of thing, that's where you get hung up on, pissed people. And oddly enough, not a lot of people picking up. It's just that weird energy thing. I've noticed when I'm in more of that, just got to hit my numbers energy, like, less people pick up. It's just like a weird energetic thing. And I
Yeah.
noticed you can just relax and like, hey, look, I got an hour here. Let me just kind of plow through these and see what's going on. I have way more pickups when I'm relaxed.
Yeah, it's the same thing about being available in the DMs. That's a huge game changer, is being present for that. Because I did the same thing. I would let them wait for a while, or I would let them in sporadically. And then I'd be like, oh yeah, well, I'll DM them all at the same time tomorrow morning, or, something like that. And it's just so much better to have that time on the calendar, to block it out. So I've been doing this, getting into flow type of thing. Instead of actually putting appointments on the calendar, I'm blocking it out for just bigger chunks, and then doing the outbound calling or the DMing, and letting them in at that time, and then being fully present for them, versus trying to do 10 other things, or letting them one in this time and then, another one in over here, and not being able to actually follow up with them. Or, I work a lot with people who are in Australia or the UK. And, I've now blocked out time in the evenings for those people. And, it's just so much better to be fully present and available for those conversations. So I'm sure you're right that it's the same energetic signature on the calls as it is in the DMs.
No, yeah, 100%, especially on sales calls themselves. Like, if it just sounds like you're repeating something you've said like 13 times today, like, you're just like, okay, well, here's what we're going to do, blah, blah, blah. Like, people know. And, people don't want to be on a conveyor belt. So if you treat everyone like, hey, you're my first call today.
Yeah. That's for sure. That's for sure. I'm so glad I'm doing the outbound. That's changed a lot. It's changed a lot. I remember I was like in my head about it, right? Because I came from that old school boiler room sales mentality. And so it was a hurdle to get past, but I'm feeling in the zone with it. It's really a game changer to get on the call. So please do this right away. Don't let your old programs get in the way. Do it. It works. Nobody's doing it either. I've never had anybody. I just had one person that was like, oh my God, you've interrupted my dinner. I'm with family. Other than that, I've never
Why
had
did it pick up?
any. I know, right? I was going to say that, but I didn't want to be an instigator. Other than that, I've never had anybody give me any kind of hassle. It's always been a thank you, and I'm glad you called and so forth. So yeah,
Yep.
It's good. Okay.
Yep. Cool. Yep.
Awesome.
You'll want to call them within 24 hours. I would say, like, if they come in, if you let them in the morning, call them in the afternoon after. Usually I notice more pickups after like 2-3 o'clock. So do not wait to call them either. If you call them right away, if they just come into your funnel, call them right away too. But for everyone else, you can kind of I usually wait till about the afternoon, like maybe this time or a little bit later to do them. And then I do like a 3-day follow-up. So I call them on day 1, day 2, day 3. After that, I may or may not continue to follow up them, all from different numbers.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Yep.
basically, Joshua said they're giving us permission to reach out until they say no. Basically, I mean, after 3 days, 4 days, I'm like, just their attention is not really here anymore. So I don't typically, because I'm just getting so many new leads every day. So it's just like, I don't really, and if they really care, they'll come back. They'll comment on a post, they'll see an email, they'll attend a live stream, let them come back versus you chasing people down.
Mhm.
So this is kind of really up to you. I don't entertain after about 3 days. It just, they can come back or not. So
Yeah. I have a lady on the books next week who joined my group about a year ago, and she just came in on one of the freebie posts, and now we've got a triage next week. So yeah, they do. If there's something that tweaks their interest, there's this new niche that it's really the same niche, but it's different wording that I've used, and I've got excitement and some momentum building and new faces coming out of hibernation that are like, oh, because I'm speaking that language. It's like just a small tweak goes a long way in really speaking to the right clients and getting them to raise their hand. So
Yep.
Yep.
So
thank you.
yeah, that's pretty much it. In between all of this, after people have come into your group, what I noticed, a lot of you guys were getting discouraged because people weren't opening right away. That's okay. That's the whole point of the core content calendar inside of module 6. If they don't open right away, that's okay. We have plenty of opportunity. We've got 5 days per week to get, even 6 days if you want to keep them on weekends, to get people to open their DMs, to get them on a call. Like, there's so much opportunity there. So I would say, honestly, most people don't open right away. I would say maybe 15%, 20% who come into your group will actually open right away. So if you allow yourself to get discouraged by that, you're gonna always feel discouraged. Where majority of the bookings and opens come in is during the week, when you're putting out content, when you're sending people to open, and hey, tap my m.me link. When you're putting out content, you're putting out posts, you're putting out emails. That's where you get a lot more opens. Okay, so keep that in mind as you're going through and bringing new people into your group. And then, yeah, Michelle, what is your question? What can I help you with?
Okay, thank you, Lydia.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this post. I was really interested in the conversation about when we give them the free gift or not. So I'm seeing this post, which I had seen. So it's directly says, get the 4 steps. If you're new to the group, you may have not gotten the training you requested in the way in. This, here it is. So it's sitting right in the group.
So the post for the trainings in the group, but the training, it's the link to get the training is not in there.
Okay, but okay, so you're saying, So then you were selling, at this point in August, you were using your setter, I think, because people are commenting course and you say, here you say, got it, check your DMs.
Mhm.
So you're sending them, are you sending them the course or you're saying, hey, do you want to get on a call?
My only purpose there is like, I'm just trying to get them to open their DM box. I'm just trying to get them to open their DMs. Most likely they have a message probably sitting there from you if you've already like done your new member process. So I'm just trying to get them to open their DMs at that point. So I might just say, hey, here's my m.me link, tap here, or hey, send me the word here in the DM. And that way they'll open it.
And then are you sending them the link to the course?
Not until until one, they ask for it, or two, we book them on a call.
So what's the DM say? So when somebody says course and you say, you got it, check your DMs. So what do you say? What are you saying on that DM to that person?
Yeah, so for those leads who have already, what I'm talking about here is just the new member process. But for those leads who have already gone through that and they still haven't opened their DMs and you just sent out, maybe it's Thursday, you said, hey, here's a freebie. For those leads who are like, hey, I send me the word course, right? I'll say, hey, you got it. I'll go grab that link here for you shortly. And just ask a question. Be like, hey, just curious, like what's got you wanting to do blank? You know, what's got you interested in wanting to get desired outcome? You know, if you're in the relationship niche, right? It's like, well, what's got you wanting to, eliminate toxic relationships and find more loving, trusting relationships right now? Or if you're in the weight loss, what's got you wanting to, you just be direct and honest with them, just from a place of curiosity. And then what'll happen there is now that'll turn into a conversation, and then potentially you can book them onto a call. So
Got it.
you'll still validate them, like, hey, yeah, I'll grab you that link. What's got you wanting to do blank? What's got you? And the context for that's just going to be based on your freebie or whatever you're offered in that post.
Got it. Okay. I think I understand that. Thank you. And then the other question is the calling people. I mean, I typically text with my clients and it's usually a very warm feeling. Like I feel in some ways that much of my success starts by texting because we're in a space of like human connection. But you're not doing that. So I'm wondering why not, or you find texting not good.
Texting new leads, you mean, or texting clients?
Texting new leads, like, so somebody, instead of where you call them within 24 hours and you've got their phone number, is there a reason you wouldn't text them instead?
Oh, they're getting texts. So if you have your
Okay.
sequence, like your text sequence set up, I have like a 6-day sequence that goes out. You might remember it or you might not. But
Yeah, I guess I meant like an actual, you're there, you are texting, you're talking, but you're keeping that separate because you're doing the automated texting.
Yeah,
Got it.
I'm not gonna text them because they're getting automated text, but what I am gonna do is call them on top of
Right. Okay. Because it would be weird if you're getting your automated text with they're supposedly from you, and then you're texting from the real you.
Exactly.
It's
a little
weird. It's like, well, who is that other person?
Kind of cumbersome. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then as soon as I get them on a call, I actually disenroll them from the sequence so they don't keep.
Yeah. There's just so many steps. I mean, it's all quite brilliant, but it's a lot to learn. Do you have any guidance? And like, there's so many moving parts here. It's a lot of moving parts.
Absolutely.
So I know you've just given us this list. I guess that's the main thing, is just use the list.
I'll take a screenshot of this and then I'll post it to the group and then tag everybody.
That would be super great.
But like, to answer the question as far as learning, just focus on the next thing that you have to learn. Just focus on the next thing, because if you're trying to focus on the next 5 steps or 4 steps ahead, it's first not going to be relevant, right? And second of all, you're probably going to create some sort of paralysis. So
right, but once you get into this is all happening very fast. There's not like time to, boom, now I've got to execute this kind of sequence. So it's different from first I get it, like, don't worry about this until my funnel's done. I get that. But once I get into this, you're starting down the slide and you're going.
That's
Ooh.
great. It's great, isn't it? Because that'll get you motivated.
I guess that's how you learn.
And give yourself the grace to learn. Give yourself that, like I have, there's ways I'm still leaving money on the table. You know what I mean? Like I could always hire a setter and do all this other stuff, but like I'm giving myself that grace to make the changes that I need to get to the next level, whatever that looks like. So don't expect yourself to be perfect. You're gonna drop balls, and that's normal. That's probably one of the most powerful things like a mentor's ever said to me is like, expect yourself to drop balls. You're going to drop balls, and it's okay. Give yourself that time to learn, because you're not going to be motivated to learn if you're not going down that slide. You're going to be standing at the top of the slide looking down like, well, I could go.
Exactly.
Maybe.
That's where the change happens. Exactly. Oh, hard though. Very.
Go down the slide. That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy. But did you have any other questions, Michelle?
Nope, that's good. Thank you.
All right, cool. We'll see you later, Rain. We'll see you later this week. Is the text sequence stuff in the portal? Yep, inside of module. I believe this one's always tricky. I believe it's in module 7. I'm about 99% sure. Justin, if you go through module 7, you'll see SMS, like SMS texting sequence setup, something like that. So yeah, go through. And also guys, at the bottom, you know what? I'll just share my screen. I know I shared this with some of you guys coming in. Important thing to keep in mind is some of these modules have a show more button at the bottom. So basically that means there's a page, more than one page. So be sure that you don't miss that. So let's see. So I'll share my screen. And then I know, Joshua, you had a question in terms of like time management, like what your day should look like. So I'll answer that too. But yeah, Justin, if you go to module 7 here, and then you'll probably have to hit show more to see the rest. Yeah, it's a little hidden. I hate the way this is set up, but I think it's page 2. Yeah, SMS texting strategy and outreach.
All right. Yeah, I guess I didn't get through the that second page there. So thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, keep in
She
mind.
literally has a step-by-step script you could just plug right into your SMS autoresponder.
It works really well. People just like, hey, book me on a call. You still want to do a little triage in the texting just to make sure that they show up. But yeah, it really works really well. So there's that. If any of you guys need the texting strategy and outreach, if you don't have this set up, I highly recommend doing this, because if you're running ads, you don't have texting setting up, again, you're just leaving money on the table. So, and if you need the apps for that, actually, if you go back to the main page to the curriculum, you'll see software and tech recommendations, like anything on there will work. Or if you want to do your own research and see if there's something better or cheaper, you're welcome to go that direction as well. So earlier, Joshua was asking what your day should look like in terms to maximize sales. First and foremost, the most important thing is going to be client fulfillment. And if any of you guys want it, I actually have, and actually, Joshua, this will probably be a good thing for you to do, is if you go back to the main page of the curriculum, go all the way down to the bottom to the resources section, there is a time audit worksheet. And you don't need to audit your whole day, but I would at least audit your workday. And the way you are going to, I'll tell you how I pulled like 50K months by myself, was by organizing myself like this. I always prioritized client fulfillment first. So clients who are paying you, you're still seeing them during your regular hours, they should be number one. After that, it should be prospecting. So during the time 9 to 5, 10 to 6, whatever you have going here, clients fulfillment should be number one. After that, really should be just prospecting. So doing calls, being in the DMs. That's really it. That really actually will take up most of your day. What you don't want to do during the day is putting together emails, putting together ideas, putting together posts, content development, things like putting together a course, messing around with your website. Do all of that outside of your normal working hours. You know, what I love about the time audit worksheet is I don't know how many clients I've had do this and then like double their revenue just from the time audit worksheet. Because you can kind of see where you can catch yourself like, oh, I wandered away for an hour to do laundry or groceries or, you know, to talk to my spouse or here, and you're actually leaving money on the table by doing that. So for those of you who have like, you know, your system going and you just want to see if you're going as effectively and as efficiently as possible to maximize sales, do that time audit worksheet and just see 3 days in a row, do 3 days in a row of just auditing your time from the start of your day to the end of your workday, and just kind of see what you've been working on. Are we leaking out time anywhere that could possibly go to prospecting or closing sales? So yeah, daytime, main time of your day should be sales calls, prospecting, triage calls, those short little game plan calls. And then number one thing is working with clients, obviously. That should be enough to keep you busy. Does that answer that question, Joshua? You look like you're churning something.
Yeah, it does. Like I set aside a little time every day to do because I get a lot of my clients still through TikTok Live. So I do like a half an hour, 45 minutes a day at the beginning of the day of lives. And I mostly have ChatGPT write my emails. So, I mean, I'm not spending a lot of time on that.
Well, yeah, if you're doing a live stream, that's part of prospecting.
Okay.
Yep, because I do a live stream every Wednesday about 5. It's not a magical time that I chose. It's just I found works really well. You know, because you got to get people ramped, like kind of the momentum built up during the day. So what I recommend for live streams, if you're doing some sort of training, and this is for the Facebook group, this is not TikTok, is you'll send out an announcement in the morning. You can send out a text and a post and an email and say, hey, RSVP this for the afternoon. So we typically do an announcement in the morning, live training in the evening or afternoon. Now, if you're doing a TikTok, then you can just, you know, if you're just going to give them a link, then you can just do that anytime. So yeah, that's part of prospecting. I would just include that in your prospecting.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, content development, writing out scripts, you know, creating courses. I built out my course on weekends. Like I was building out, putting together content like Saturday mornings, midnight. It just, if you are maximizing sales and then you start letting that stuff creep in, now your sales are going to go down. So I would just, again, prioritize sales, prospecting, and clients.
Are you counting marketing emails in that prospecting, or because you said no emails, but are you
That should
counting?
Set up in advance. Like
I usually write a couple marketing emails a week, but I'm spending about 5 minutes on those because ChatGPT is writing them all for me.
Yeah, if you can do that, I mean, if it's just taking you 5 minutes, that's cool.
Yeah.
If it's only 5 minutes, right? Just keep in mind if it starts to build up. Like what we don't want to do is sit here. I still do my own copywriting, so I'll sit here and spend 20 minutes. That to me is like way too much time. So I would just, you know, we can take a look at what your revenue is right now, and then take a look at, do like a time audit worksheet and see if there's anything that might be getting in the way of you getting to the next level, just in terms of your time management. But if you're spending 5 minutes, I mean, 5 minutes is not a lot of time, but it's got to be, you know, like five minutes or so.
Most of my time in since I started here has been rebranding myself and moving into the relationship trauma area, away from kind of being the hypnotist. So I have about another day of that, and then I can kind of go back to this.
Okay. Yep. That transition takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
But okay. Did that answer?
Thank you.
Lydia,
I have a question on that same point, can I ask?
Yeah.
So I only foresee, that I'm looking to bring 3 or 4 clients max on a month. So for me, I'm trying to understand. So you're trying to bring people a lot of people to come into a group setting. I'm no longer at the stage of my life that I'm going to work that many hours, to be blunt. I'm a grandmother of 6. I'm at a different point in my life. So I'm not going to work 9 to 5 and then work after that. So like realistically, I'm trying to figure out to bring in 3 clients who are going to work with me privately.
Mhm.
What do you think is reasonable? I mean, maybe you're going to say I'm still going to need to work 8 hours a day on client,
Mhm.
acquisition. But I'm just curious to hear your perspective.
What's that look like in terms of revenue for you? If you only want 3 clients, what does that revenue goal look like?
Well, every month, I don't know. So, right. So I guess I'm saying I want to bring in 3 new clients that
Mhm.
paying me $5,000 or $6,000.
Okay. You know what I'll do? And actually, this was something that I was thinking about talking about today, but actually I'll plan it for next week, is like, how much of everything does it take to get to make, I don't even want to say I'm going to start at 20K months, because honestly, what you need to do to get to 10K per month is not going to be really any different in terms of what to get to 20 and even 30K months. What I could do is next Monday is prepare basically what you need in terms of lead flow,
Mhm.
group joins, calls, outbound calls, ad spend in order to get to 20K months. Would that be helpful to you guys? So how much do you need to spend to get to 20K months? How many leads per day? How many group joins per day do you need? How much do you need to spend on ads? How many calls? How many sales calls do you need to have to get, 3 clients, right? So for you, that would be somewhere, that'd be between 10 and 20K months, right? So what I'll do is I'll prepare this for next Monday. Would that be helpful for you guys?
Yeah, very. Thank you.
I mean, honestly, this applies to whether you want to make 10K, 20K, or even 30K. When you start getting to 40K, 50K, now your time is going to have to be extended. But I mean, you could get to 10K and 20K you can even get to 30K with the same amount of volume. It's really it becomes about what you do with that volume, that you're
Yeah.
getting. So, what I'll do is walk you guys through what that's going to look like. Yeah, what metrics you need to hit between 10 and 20K plus month. I would say between 10 and 30K months. Honestly, I skyrocketed past 20K. I didn't even hit it. I went from 10 to 30, and then I went from 30 to 50. Like, I don't know why I do that. I plateau hard, and then I fly hard, and then I plateau hard, and then I skyrocket. So I'll walk you guys what it looks like to hit between 10 and 30K months in terms of metrics next week. Does that work, Michelle?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you, Lydia.
That'll give us way more time, and that's a whole nother hour that we'll spend on that conversation. So yeah, I'll walk you through, guys, what it looks like to hit between 10 and 30K months, and then your metrics for 30K plus. Sound like a plan? Cool. Awesome. Good stuff, guys. Great conversation. Was this helpful for you guys today in terms of like just that new member process? 'Cause I know some of you are coming to me with already pre-existing strategies. Some of you are coming with no strategy. This is your first strategy. Was this kind of helpful for those of you who are just kind of getting your feet wet here? Cool. Awesome. And then, yeah, I'll just screenshot that list, and then I'll post that to the group. And if there's guys, if I've talked about anything today and you're like, hey, where's that training? Tag me in the Facebook group, and then because then everybody will be able to see your question, and then I'll just drop the training there, and then we'll just do it like that. If you're like, hey, where's that SMS training you're talking about? Or where's the, talking to people through DMs. If you can't find anything I talked about here today, just post to the group, and then I'll tag you in that inside of the group. So, all right. And the replay is in the group too, guys. So this is streaming live, so the replay will be there as well. So let's go. Let's go get it, guys. Let's do it. Make it a productive week. And I'll see you guys later today. Bye-bye.